Deep beneath the Grand Archive, where dust had not stirred for centuries, a cloaked figure moved through hidden corridors. Their footsteps made no sound. The passage twisted downward through ancient stone carved long before the Empire existed. At the end of the corridor, a circular chamber waited. Cracked pillars surrounded a silent altar. Ancient symbols glowed faintly across the walls. The parchment in the cloaked figure's hand shimmered with star-flecked ink. The figure stepped forward. Moonlight slipped through a narrow crack above and illuminated the fragment. The parchment trembled. Slowly, the cloaked figure placed the parchment upon the altar. For a moment, nothing happened. At pause, then the chamber awakened. Ancient glyphs ignited across the walls, one after another, until a glowing circle surrounded. The parchment pulsed. A distant voice echoed through the chamber. Ancient, faded, almost forgotten. The library awakens. The altar. The cloaked figure lowered their head. Yes, just as the prophecy foretold, the glowing symbols shifted. They reformed into a single name written in light. Ethan Cross. The cloaked figure watched the name flicker. Several long seconds passed. Then a quiet laugh escaped from beneath the hood. So, it is him. The parchment burned into drifting sparks. The chamber fell silent once again. Far above, the boy whose name had appeared slept peacefully, unaware that the world had begun to move around him. Morning arrived quietly at the Grand Archive. Ethan woke before dawn and stared at the cracked ceiling above him. His body ached, but this was not the weakness he had always known. Something had changed. Slowly, Ethan flexed his fingers. Strength answered. A faint warmth flowed through his body. Only the smallest thread, but it was real. A smile spread across Ethan's face. It wasn't a dream. He sat up. Immediately, the library stirred inside his mind. The endless hall of books appeared again. Shelves stretched into infinity. Scrolls floated silently in the air. Knowledge waited everywhere. The jade slip he had claimed during the trial glowed softly. Ethan exhaled slowly. Later, for now, he still had work to do. The massive doors of the Grand Archive opened. Morning light spilled across the stone floor. Dust drifted through the air like tiny stars. Archivists were already at work. Quills scratched against parchment. Pages turned quietly. Ethan entered the hall. Normally, no one noticed him, but today was different. Eyes followed him. Whispers spread among the apprentices. That's him. He broke Darren's leg. They say he moved like a cultivator. Ethan ignored them and continued sweeping. Attention was dangerous, especially now. A shadow fell across the floor. Ethan looked up. Master Harrow stood before him. The old archivist studied him carefully. You seem well this morning, Cross. Ethan bowed slightly. Yes, Master Harrow. Harrow slowly circled him. You were always frail. And yet yesterday, you defeated a trained apprentice. Silence filled the hall. Several apprentices stopped working to listen. Explain. Ethan remained calm. He had an old injury. Harrow raised an eyebrow. And you knew this, how? Ethan gestured lightly. His stance. The archivist stared at him for several seconds. Then Harrow turned away. Continue your work. He paused. And Cross. Ethan froze. If I discover you have tampered with anything inside the sealed wing, I will personally ensure you never step inside this archive again. The threat hung heavily in the air. Ethan bowed. I understand. Later that afternoon, Ethan walked through a quiet corridor of the archive. Few people ever came here. Dust covered the floor. The corridor stretched silently ahead. Then Ethan stopped. A strange feeling crept over him. Someone was watching. High above the corridor, hidden among the beams, a cloaked figure stood perfectly still. So, you can already feel it. The figure smiled beneath the hood. Interesting. Then they vanished into the shadows. Deep inside the endless library, a sealed book slowly opened. Its pages turned on their own. A single glowing sentence appeared. The second inheritor walks the path.